I heard just a loud explosion. And I, of course, turned around, and there was just all like fire.
Scary moments for people in Naugatuck after a tree fell amid the intense rain yesterday. We'll have more on the damage straight ahead.
Police are searching for a person off the side of a bridge on Boston Post Road in New Haven. I'm Joe Monti with more coming in just a few minutes.
Good Thursday morning. Glad you're with us here on Fox 61. I'm Bridget Piorlo.
And I'm Stefan Reels. Thank you for being here. And thank you, Rachel Piscatelli, for leading us off with weather. Meteorologist Rachel Piscatelli, I should say.
And hopefully better weather.
It's a mouthful.
Yeah.
It's a mouthful.
You know, but I want to offer respect. You work really hard to be a meteorologist.
Sure
Let's let's give a little praise to Rachel.
She's a meteorologist. She's a traffic anchor.
She's a
trafficologist.
fiancé.
Oh, and a fiance.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy.
Yeah, so many
She's a
things here at
sister,
6 o'clock.
a daughter.
Wow.
Just doing
All the
everything
things.
out
You
here.
know what? If you want to list my resume.
You
go
know,
for it.
hey, listen, I'll take out like a piece of paper. It's like, hey, Rachel
All
Piscatelli,
these
media
things.
icon extraordinaire.
Thank you. All right, well, at 6:01, we are following times of rain this morning. So unfortunately, not bringing dry weather back into the forecast for today. We have occasional showers throughout. At times, it will be a bit more steady. Right now, we have a downpour located just to the west of Waterbury towards Oxford. It is pouring there, and towards Southbury along 84, along 188 this morning, and towards Seymour and into Naugatuck. We also have a brief downpour in Canterbury and Plainfield this morning. So you'll see times of rain that comes down pretty steady and heavy, and then other times it lightens up where it's cloudy and cool. Temperatures are in the 60s right now at 67 in Hartford, 68 in Meriden, 70 degrees in New Haven. The umbrella, the rain gear needed this afternoon. Temperatures will get up into the lower 70s. I think the back half of the day trends drier than the first half, so towards this evening, improvements are on the way. Sunshine returns for our Friday. Temperatures on Friday will get up into the lower 80s, so finally seeing those numbers rebound. We'll talk more about that, plus your weekend forecast coming up in just a bit. As we check in with the roads this morning, we are following this closure over in Torrington, so Route 8 southbound between exit 55 and 51. It is closed this morning because of a tree down, so you will need to seek that alternative route. 183 will help you navigate around that closure. We also are taking a live look outside over in Hartford, just through the Hartford Tunnel. You can see minor delays after trying to get off of exit 51 and jumping onto 91. That's pretty standard for this morning. So Windsor to the 84 interchange is around 7 minutes. New Britain Ave to the Hartford Tunnel is around 7 as well. Over to you.
Thanks, Rachel. Time now 6:03, and an investigation is underway in New Haven on Boston Post Road.
Yeah, that's where we find Fox 61's Joe Monti. Joe, there's a very active scene behind you there. Bring us up to speed on what you're learning.
Yeah, good morning to you both. Look, not a lot of information from police or fire so far, but we can tell you that there is a search going on in the West River just below the Boston Post Road in New Haven. We're on the West Haven line. I'm going to step off and show you what it's looking like right now. We have police and fire on scene as well as EMS, and we see a stretcher ready sitting there. It's been there for some time. Again, though, they are searching the water, it appears, looking for someone. It's just before the intersection with Ella T. Grasso Boulevard. And again, they're looking in the West River. It's not a very fast-moving current, but it does flow into the New Haven harbor. And just a short while ago, we saw it looked like a fire truck and fire rescue teams possibly rushing from this scene to another scene, and they were towing a rescue boat. So certainly a search going on in the river right now, and again, you can see part of that here as police and fire look over the bridge here into the river, and we've seen them too as well crossing over a barrier. They've had a ladder over the edge of the bridge, but they're also crossing, walking down the hill through some of these weeds on the left, trying to get closer to the water. It's not very deep water over here, and it's not a very far drop from the bridge, but they are again searching for somebody over here. And we did just have a woman come up to us not too long ago asking, are they still searching for him? Are they still searching for him? So it appears that they're looking for a male at least. Again, none of this information confirmed from the police or fire just yet. We are in contact with them though. We're working on getting more information for you guys, and as soon as we get an update, we'll be sure to bring it to you here on air live on Fox 61 and fox61.com. For now, New Haven, Joe Monti, Fox 61.
Thank you, Joe. Thousands of people in Waterbury are still without water this morning after a water main break on Tompkins Street Tuesday. City officials say crews have been working around the clock to repair the damaged pipe, but but the outage is expected to continue until at least this evening. Fox 61's Glenn Kittle joins us live in Waterbury with the latest. Glenn. Glenn, can you hear us? Okay.
And I heard just a loud explosion.
Okay, it appears that we have some technical difficulties with Glenn. We'll check back with him in a little bit.
All right, moving on now. 6:05 is your time. And people who live in Naugatuck experienced outages yesterday. Hundreds were left in the dark after a tree came down on a utility pole on Osborne Road. Eversource says it happened just before 7 yesterday morning. One neighbor, Brian Storzinger, says he came back home immediately after his wife called as soon as she heard a loud boom.
Me at 6:45, that she heard a crackling noise and everything, so the power came on and off, and finally went off completely. So she smelled something burning also. I guess the wire must have hit the tree, and so the tree hit the wire rather. I lived in Florida for 2.5, lived through 3 hurricanes, so I survived this with no problem. So Naugatuck is a great town. They do a great job doing everything here, so I can't complain.
And people who live in that neighborhood have their lights back on this morning, so good news there, some progress. Several people in Norfolk say they were concerned about floods, especially with the hours-long rain. While many were mostly spared from serious flooding, Elizabeth Negrees says she hasn't been so lucky in the past, especially with a nearby brook.
That little tiny brook overflowed to within 4 feet of the apartment. My whole apartment flooded. And it's sad that things like this aren't taken care of in advance.
Another person we spoke with said they had made the trip from New York City with the hopes of hiking. It's probably very challenging to do that. Yesterday, they spent the day on the hunt for trails that weren't rained out.
And with all that rain yesterday, several roads were flooded, and that includes this scene here on your screen that you're about to see. Officers in Fairfield worked fast to help save a driver stranded in a flooded underpass. Luckily, no one was hurt, and police remind everyone that floodwater can hide debris, open manholes, and other dangers for drivers and first responders. And Milford police are also sharing a similar warning after another flooded road rescue. This video you see right now is from last week when officers rushed in to rescue 2 people stranded in a flooded road. Police say the car was dead, the doors and windows wouldn't open, and officers had to break a window to get the people in the car out safely. The message from both departments is simple: turn around and find another route. And Connecticut firefighters who helped battle wildfires in Canada are back home. The 6-person crew spent nearly 2 weeks in Quebec. Fox 61's Priscilla Mesa caught up with them in Marlborough and shares their homecoming story.
The crew left Connecticut back on July 17th, joining firefighters from across the Northeast, helping contain fires in a much different landscape. And as they return home, they're bringing back much more than just experience.
The terrain was very difficult. We're used to going more westward in the United States, where it's a lot more dry and a lot more terrain-based. And up there, it was quite a lot of bogs and swamps. So we were dealing with wet boots all the time and wet socks, a lot of foot problems for everyone.
From bogs and swamps to long days and unpredictable conditions, the 6-member crew, part of Connecticut's Interstate Fire Crew, joined others from Maine and New Hampshire, working under the Northeastern Forest Fire Compact, a partnership that allows states and neighboring countries to step in when resources are stretched.
Appreciative to be able to go and do the things that we've been trained to do and assist our neighbors up north with. It's just always a good feeling to go and help out certain communities that are impacted by this sort of thing.
Firefighters say the conditions in Quebec forced them to adapt, sharing tactics and learning new ones they can now bring back home.
Some of the tactics that we shared back and forth in terms of how we deal with fire suppression in certain types of environments. As I mentioned, they have a very different fire just environment up there in general, a lot wetter, a lot more flat. So certain things that we wouldn't think to do here they were doing up there, and it worked out very well. So hopefully can draw some comparisons and bring some of that stuff that works back here.
One family waited anxiously for the return of their soon-to-be son-in-law, Sam Butler.
It's always nice to get him back. You know, the number of people fighting the fires, it's fairly safe. They try to be really careful, but you never know. So anytime they make it back is great.
It's just such an amazing thing that these people are willing to go out there and risk their lives.
This wasn't the first time watching a loved one head into danger.
This is his second time he's done the fire crew. My daughter got him into it. Actually, she had gone out, I think 4 different times. Colorado, California, Texas, and I think there might have been one more as well.
DEEP officials say this type of interstate support is critical when these wildfires become more frequent and intense. In Marlboro, Priscilla Meza, Fox 61.
The Waterbury woman accused of holding her stepson captive for decades, Kimberly Sullivan, declined a plea deal yesterday in court. She pleaded not guilty to charges of kidnapping, assault, unlawful restraint, and cruelty to persons. The state offered her a sentence of 30 years in prison, suspended after 10 years, and 5 years probation. Sullivan is due back in court September 4th.
And take a look at this. Enfield police have released a body camera video that shows the arrest of Anthony Federline. Federline is the stepfather of 12-year-old Eve Rogers, who was found dead in her bedroom back in March. He was arrested and faces sexual assault charges. But to be clear, Federline has not been charged in connection with her death. Toxicology results show Rogers died after ingesting a deadly amount of over-the-counter allergy and cold medication. The release of video comes as Rogers' mother has filed for divorce from Federline. And coming up, SpaceX has been awarded another billion-dollar government contract. What we know about the project ahead.
And more Americans are turning to bankruptcy as debt continues to pile up, what experts say is driving this latest trend.